Welcome everybody to the North Pier and the introduction to my Sunday review video. Thomas is just about to pass us. Now, I'd like to thank everybody who watches my videos and everybody who allows myself to video inside and outside of their shops. Thank you very much. Without either party, there is no videos. And again, I thank both parties very, very much. It's a glorious morning here, yet however, there is a wind, but we won't worry about that. We are on this lovely North Pier, just about to look at the Central Pier. The tide is on its way out, and there's Blackpool Tower. So I'm going to start this week's Sunday review off now, thanking everybody who helps me. I do hope you enjoy this one. I was quite pleased with it myself. Thank you. Bye bye now. The site of the Premier Inn at the rear. I am really hoping that you can see this. A freestanding canopy. And what's happening this morning is this big transporter lorry. It is carrying another freestanding canopy. And that, I'm told, will go adjacent to this window here at the bottom. You can see that canopy there. Well, that goes right next door to it in that space there. I'll just take you to have a look at that canopy. We will go to the side elevation now. A view of the side elevation with even more scaffolding and boarding taken down yesterday and today. Side elevation of the Premier Inn. A very significant day for this build of the Premier Inn at the rear. You can see that blue hoist making its way down to ground level. Well, today we'll see the top two tiers of this building losing the hoist. The hoist is being taken down from the top two tiers, including the mast area. I'm very pleased with this clip because now I can show you the blue gates of this hoist from the top two levels, from the top two stories, all being taken down out of the cage and being taken away. So there we are, a very significant day of this build. The hoist being taken away from the top two stories of the actual build of the Premier Inn. The whole of the blue hoist is due to be removed completely one day next week. Now hopefully you can see that canopy there on that white sandstone. Now yesterday I told you it was going to be placed to the right. There we are, I told you it was going to be placed over there, this new canopy that had arrived. Now that's wrong. The canopy, in fact, is to be placed, and it has been placed, over the white sandstone. As you can see, there's two areas of white sandstone, and they both have the canopy. So just a slight correction on my part. I hope that clears that up. Mistakes happen, of course they do. So, as said, I hope that's cleared up. A very warm welcome to everybody at the front of the Wilko store. Now, this is the first day of the arrival of all this heavy plant machinery. If I can just explain something, please. Now, this huge task here of taking this Wilko's down will involve many pieces of heavy plant machinery. Now, I'm going to make mistakes because I don't know the name of all these pieces of plant machinery. So I thought I would explain that. I will do my best, but as said, I will make errors. So I'm going to let the camcorder show you in pictures what is happening here. It is 1 p.m. in the afternoon on the Wednesday, and I have arrived, and I can tell you now that a lot of preparation work has already taken place, as you can see. And can you notice how important those railway sleepers were to support this first arrival of this plant machinery? Now here is an interesting clip. Can you see that revolving fan there? Now that is to keep all the dust down to a minimum. I have not seen one of these. It's the first time I have seen one. So there we are. That's our first visit to the Wilko store and the arrival of the basic heavy plant machinery.
A good morning to everybody. It's Thursday now, the 10th of September. We are at the rear now of the build of the Premier Inn, and I can promise you a very interesting tour this morning of this build of the Premier Inn. Now, as you know, yesterday I told you about the blue hoist. Yes, the blue hoist taken down from the top 2 stories of this build, as you can see. I do believe that there's a nice angle here for myself to show you the canopies on the sandstone part of the build at the rear here. Now we're going now nice and slowly around to the side elevation. In front you can see one of the scaffolders there taking down some of the boards. There's a view of the North Pier there while I safely cross this road. turning round now, and I can show you this. I promised you an interesting tour, and I hope this proves the case. The side elevation, and as you can see, only a matter of 10 or 20 sections of scaffold remain here. And isn't that looking nice? Now comes a part of the tour that pleases me to show this. There's the lorry there of that scaffold company. They have done ever so well. 18 months plus service here. Just got to be careful of this very, very high curb, because I will just show you this. This is opposite the front of the Premier Inn, and this is where the tram stop will be, and it's very, very high, so be very careful. It's a very, very high curb indeed. Now, to get back to this tour of the Premier Inn at the front, and please notice every piece of scaffold now gone. Yes, we have a complete view, and it is a very impressive one of the front now of the Premier Inn, and it looks superb. Exactly how it would have been done in the 1930s. And also, please notice the canopies. There's the first one, and as we progress down here to another part of the sandstone section, we see the other canopy. They're really, really impressive. So there we are, our first look at the front of this build without any scaffolding at all. A marvellous job, a tremendous job from every single person that has worked here. So that is our visit this morning to this now nearly clear of scaffolding and all the boards of the Premier Inn. Now our next visit is to the Wilko store. Now I'm at the moment in Brian Rose's gymnasium, which overlooks the Wilko build. Now I've received a wonderful help here this morning, so I'm able to bring you pictures of what is going on over the Wilko store. Now in front you see that blower there. Now the reason why I've asked for help from Brian Rose Gymnasium is the fact that a marvellous job has been done to protect everybody from this build. Marvellous work with all the barriers, etc., all put up. But however, as you can see, the blower is letting out some air there, which is to prevent all the dust. However, it's not their fault. Yesterday, I received a coating of actual dust on my glasses and the camcorder, so I've got to be very careful how I video here. But with the help of this gymnasium, Brian Rose, I may be able to do something. Now, what we're looking at now was the entrance of the Wilko store. However, as you can see, these contractors have eaten that away. It's all gone. All the canopies that were above this entrance, all gone, and you can see that all being moved away to that big pile there. They are certainly not hanging about whatsoever. Look at this after just 1 or 2 days. Rapid progress here at the Wilko store. You can see that blower there. And that's going to put a lot of particles into the air, unfortunately. So there we are. That's our first visit overlooking the Wilko store. And again, I thank everybody in the Brian Rose Gymnasium for myself to actually do this.
A very good morning to everybody. It is Friday now, the 11th of September 2020. And you join myself at what was the front of the Wilko building. And all I can say is that I am very surprised at the scenes that I am able to show. Very impressed indeed about what has happened in a very short space of time. Oh, I can point out here that water blower. Now that stops all the debris from flying about. It helps in a very big way. Now that's water coming out of there. And just have a look at this. Very impressive work indeed in taking this huge shop down. Can you see that blue pipe there in the road? Well, that's the water pipe that feeds that blower. That goes right round to Queen Street where there's a mains. They're plugged into the water mains there. So we've got the water blower there helping to keep all the debris down. What a sight this is. They've only just arrived virtually a couple of days ago, and look, they've eaten into it. I'm undercover this morning, very close to Kelly's, so I am undercover. A view of what was the front entrance of Wilko's, taken from undercover at Kelly's across the road. Well, affordable signs return to Abingdon Street. This time to do a sign for the barbers that we've reviewed a few videos ago. Affordable signs back in Abingdon Street, and this is where they are today. And 2 hours later you can see the complete sign, a brilliant sign, Bright Barbers. This has been so good as we have reviews on not only the barbers but also the shop of affordable signs themselves. I'm very pleased with this. I hope you've enjoyed it. It is a marvellous sunny morning this Saturday, the 12th of September, and you join me looking at the front of the Wilko store. And the first thing we see is this giant piece of plant machinery There is no work being carried out here today, so I am able to walk you along the front of the ex-once store of Wilko's and to show you the marvellous progress that has been made in taking this down. I was told many times, many months ago, that it's going to be very difficult to take down as it's very strong reinforced concrete. However, that is not the case. This company here and the plant machinery is eating into it. No problem at all. And marvellous progress has been made in just a couple of days. Well, you can see for yourself what's happened. As said, just a couple of days and this has happened. Marvellous progress already. Coming to the end of the front now, I can take you round to the side in a moment. A side view now, virtually in Queen Street. Oh, that's the street where the flying handbag is. Just to point out where we are. A little bit of work all being carried out here. The old entrance to the Wilko store. Now I'm going to take you now for an interesting tour of Topping Street. There's a landmark there, the Iceland store. And right in front of you now is the Washington Public House. Now I'm taking you down Topping Street as I think this is a very exciting and interesting road now. One of the many roads refurbished. Look at the lovely pavement area. Now I do hope you find this interesting. Across the road is where I'd like to show you, just passing the Yorkshire Fisheries. And the first shop that I would like to show you is this. It's the card market. And this shop is for sale and it's in the hands of a racetrick. Next door there's also a shop that I believe is vacant. Now, just a few paces down across the other side of the road is that Mama's restaurant, which is to let due to the owner retiring. And next door we see the shop of the man cave, which I showed last week, and there's that big sign, it is for sale. And this week I think this to let sign has appeared. I believe that is a new sign. Perhaps I am wrong. So we have 3 interesting shops all in a row, all available. Now we can carry on our walk along this refurbished road of Topping Street. One of the many roads and streets that has been refurbished. Just passing Churchill's public house now, and virtually adjacent to that is the sports bar of Champs. There's the bus stop there. You would catch the number 6 there to take you to Mearside. Now over the other side of the road, this is where we will be going later. That's the Cask Tap. but that will be covered in a few moments. Ray Strick there, the estate agents. And now we are rapidly approaching a unit of 4 or 5 shops that have completely new shop fronts. Some are already trading, some are not. The first one is to let, and then there's Alfie's. Alfie's is a great hairdresser, and next door to that is a very, very new shop. There's Alfie's. Next door is a glamour bar, just opened. Now the exciting news is, right next door, there's this shop here, and it has been taken. A lovely lady has taken this, and she's going to open it up as a homeware shop. I will tell you more in a couple of moments. Next door to that is the newsagents. Across the road, Jilly Bob's, the hair and beauty shop. That's fairly new as well. We videoed that shop when it was empty, and Jilly Bob's has transformed it. Just around the corner there is another unit here with a new shop front, and that is also to let. So I hope you're finding this interesting at the moment. There is more to come, and hopefully you will enjoy it. Topping Street News. And a member of the staff pointed to the sign. I rather like this. Jilly Bob's across the road. Now, if I was to turn around, this was so good for me this morning, because this is the shop that has just been taken. It's next door to Alfie's and the Glamour Bar. Now, this shop here, we are inside now. This is going to be a homeware shop. A nice lady's going to run this, and her name is Hilary, and she's undertaking all the work inside herself. So in the very near future, this will be home comforts, and I'm sure we'll be able to come and video it when it is open. But this is how it looks inside, and I wish the young lady herself all the very best, as I'm sure everybody else does. Look at the lovely flooring as well. Graystrick and the Champs Sports Bar across the road is where we are going. The Cask and Tap. Lots to show and tell.
We are inside now, the Cask and Tap itself, and this, I promise you, will be an exciting visit. So much to tell you and so much to show you. First of all, please notice the lovely floor, completely finished in that oak. Completely through this Cask and Tap. What a lovely job. The ceiling, which you've seen previously, and the lighting. And now we move up to the bar area. And there is a lovely smell this morning of varnish. They've just put on the final coat of varnish. Lots to tell you. Oh, we'll just go and have a look at Mr. Fox here. There we are, he's waiting to see everybody. Mr. Fox is actually an orchard thief. Now, to get back to the bar area, I was asked to point these out. These are oak handles, hand pumps, and they were hand turned, not machine turned. They were specially made, hand turned oak handles. Now we're going to go the other side of the bar now. And there's a view of those lovely oak handles here. Now for the most interesting part of work that has been completed this week is in the what is called the cellar. Now I really hope that this is informative and also it makes good video. Please have a look at this. Last week we had one side finished, this side, and now turning back, this area now is completed. Now I'm going to attempt to explain what these are. Now this side here that we are looking at, now I'm going to go back to where we came in. I think that is best. I will be able to remember everything a lot clearer. Now we have two sides to look at. We'll do this side here, the right hand side. Now this is for the keg side, lagers and ciders, etc. All the barrels there as well. All the gas pumps, etc., which are needed for kegs. Now, if we can, I'd like to show you on the other side, there's a row of 6 lines. Can you see them? Well, these are called craft lines for matured ale. Now I've got to walk back carefully, and on this left hand side, now this is where all the work was completed. This is where all the work was completed this week. Now this is for the real ale side. Now I can just move back carefully, and you see here, these I'm told are coolers. Now this small one is for the cask ale. The next one is for the kegs. And the one on the left is for the craft ales. So what we have here, in fact, is the keg side, which is to my right, and on the left hand side is for the casks. And further down, those 6 lines are for the craft lines matured ale. So I hope you have found that interesting. On our way out, I will just point out that there's some real ale here. And we proceed back to the back of the bar area. Now tomorrow, which is Sunday, I'm told that they hope to have all the tables and chairs arrive. Now, just a quick message. This is the notice on the window. This is a message from the Cask and Tap management. And it reads, this refurbishment is approaching completion. And we are pleased to announce that Cask and Tap will be opening midday on the 25th of September. There is no loud music, no televisions or fruit machines. It's all about the beer and the chat. So there's a huge welcome to everybody from the management of this Cask and Tap, and I thank them very, very much indeed for allowing myself to show the viewers of what is happening here. So I'm going to have one final look at this very, very impressive cellar area. Oh, not to forget all these pipes here. They are called pythons. So we're going to leave them now. They're outside. The management is outside. So that completes our visit today to the Cask and Tap.
I have just left the North Pier. That's it in front of you. That's the town hall, and I would like to show you this. This is the side elevation of the Premier Inn, with all the scaffold and all the boards all taken away. Doesn't that look nice? Whilst here, I will show the front, but this has already been shown early on in this video. But however, I will show it again as it looks so very, very impressive. The front of the build of the Premier Inn. And this is the rear of the build of the Premier Inn, and it is from here that I'm going to close this whole video up, thanking everybody for what they've done for me. Thank you. I hope you've enjoyed. Bye bye.